Amy Pond and Rory Williams are trapped on a crashing space liner, and the only way the 11th Doctor can rescue them is to save the soul of a lonely old miser. But is Kazran Sardik, the richest man in the Sardik town, beyond redemption? And what is lurking in the fogs of Christmas Eve? Welcome, friends and companions. How are you today? I'm fine. Here is your host, Enigmatic Joker. Sci-fi and fantasy fans and all sort of fans meet on this channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music and sport, and a special place on this channel for Doctor Who, our most beloved sci-fi series. I will watch this series till eternity. I love the Doctor. This channel has multiple names. Most of the time, this channel is called Random Entertainment Channel. And random, that's because we will discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books and music. We don't do politics and religion. Politics and religion are these are not entertainment. So we want to have fun, jokes, laughter, and humor on this channel. So no place for religion or politics. We will only want to have fun. I want only discuss things we are interested in that we like. So it's one of the things. Random entertainment channel, because will broadcast on non-fixed time, actually on many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. The reason behind the different times is because I want to meet as much people as possible in different time zones and countries. I want to make friends and companions, and yeah, I want to serve as much people as possible and reach out to as much people as possible. So that's the reason why. And I go with the flow and with the waves. And yes, that's the reason behind this way of working. Random also because we have no guests or different guests. It depends on what you show me in the live stream panel. If you want to show me in a live stream, feel free to contact me via a comment on one of the videos, or you can visit and meet me on the Discord server, and we will look what is possible. It's also possible to invite me for your channel for a live stream or panel, and then we can have fun together with and talk about things we are interested in and we are like. So feel free to contact me about this. So, in summary, you are invited for to take a seat next to me, and feel free to invite me for your live stream or panel. Yes, I want to contribute. I want to meet you. The Discord server is called Random Entertainment Channel Tech Doctor Who. And you'll find me very quick on Discord because I pump the server regularly. So cheers, mate, and have lots of fun. This is your host, Enigmatic Joker, and today 11 Doctor story called A Christmas Carol. Again, a Christmas story. Yes. Christmas, Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy Easter. Yeah. Okay. Um, some general info about this TV story with 11 Doctor Matt Smith. Okay, let's go. A Christmas Carol was a 2010 Christmas special of Doctor Who. It was the show's sixth Christmas special since its revival and the first Christmas special starring Matt Smith as the Doctor. It was the first BBC Wales Christmas special neither written by Russell T Davies nor starring David Tennant. Like other Christmas specials before it, a renowned guest star was signed on to portray a major character. This special played host to the talents of actor Sir Michael Gambon, who was given two roles, portraying both the main antagonist and that character's lookalike father. A Christmas Carol was also the first Christmas story whose title was inspired by a previous Christmas tale, Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. This episode contains a small hint about Amy's pregnancy. When a doctor scans Christian Starship, the life science he gets has one more than there are actual people on board, due to it counting the baby in Amy's womb. Furthermore, it broke the record for least delay between UK and US premiere broadcast of an episode of Doctor Who. Previously held by the End of Time, whose US debut of Part 1 was a single day later, the delay between BBC One and BBC America easternmost broadcast was a mere 8 hours. Australia was equally well served, with the delay being something on the order of 7 hours, depending on the time zone. Behind the scenes, it was significant for the number of new faces in most departments, more than on any other single episode since Rose. Of those new to BBC Wales, Doctor Who, the most prominent were those of production designer Michael Pickwood, costume designer Barbara Kidd, and editor Adam Recht. On the subject of new costume designer Matt Smith's Shetland tweed jacket ensemble made its debut in this special, replacing the outfit he wore during Series 5. It remained in use up to the Bells of St. John, a prequel, before Smith once again had the costume change. So, that was some in general info. We'll dive now into inner plot. So, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched and or listened to this story, I recommend to do that. And otherwise, you can decide for yourself to listen further to the plot. So, let's go. A spaceship plunges towards an unknown planet. Its captain orders the pilot to try steadying the ship. Distress call has been sent from the ship's honeymoon suite, angering the captain as she does not know who sent it. Amy and Rory, honeymooners aboard the craft, rush to the bridge of the spaceship to see if they can help. Amy is in her police woman kissogram outfit and Rory in a centurion uniform. Embarrassed, they explain they were having fun. Amy was the one who placed the distress call. Rory holds an odd device with a light attached and is wondering if he has to change the bulb or if the doctor has received the signal. Amy quiets him, praying that the doctor isn't late this time. All of a sudden, the ship's computers register a small object approaching the ship. The TARDIS soars into view, beaming the message, "Come along, Pond." When asked what the message means, Amy simply answers that it's Christmas. Kesron Sardik, a wealthy, heartless man, owns much of the planet below and a cloud belt above, where the ship is trapped. His money comes from a loan sharking business he inherited from his father. To secure loans, he cryogenically preserves family members of borrowers for collateral. On Christmas Eve, he meets with one such family in his library. They beg for the release of a family member to spend Christmas Eve with them. Kesron rejects this proposal. He takes a phone call from the president of the planet asking his permission to land the Starliner safely. He refuses. As he returns to berating the family, a boy notices the sound of the TARDIS landing above them. Suddenly, the doctor slides down the chimney into the room, calling it a whim. Um, so, babbling, he notices a flashy, lighty thing machine and tells the group that it's what's brought him there. He tries to use the controls to open the cloud belt, but cannot use them. Kesran says the machine is isomorphic. The doctor wonders who Kesran is, confusing the rich miser, as everyone on the planet should know him. The doctor changes the subject, wondering who the girl in the icebox is. Kesran says she's no one important, amazing the doctor as he has never met anyone who wasn't important. He asks Kazran to help him save the ship stuck in a cloud belt, but Kazran refuses. Kazran orders a doctor and a family removed from his home. The servant grabs the doctor to pull him away. The family's young son throws a chunk of coal at Kazran's head. Kazran moves to strike him, but doesn't. He orders the family and the doctor to be thrown out. The doctor returns to ask why he didn't hit the boy. Though Kazran is less than cooperative, the doctor quickly pieces together Kazran's personality from the arrangement of his furniture. There is a picture of his father, deceased for 20 years, but Kazran keeps his chair pointed away. Kazran fears being like his father. The doctor says he is not because he didn't hit the boy. Outside, the doctor speaks to Amy over a mobile phone, but is distracted by the sight of some skyfish swimming around the lamp. The unnaturally high water level in the cloud belt, combined with slight electrical charge, allows the fish to swim amongst the fog. A carol begins playing in the speakers in the street, preventing Amy from hearing the doctor properly. She informs him that the ship only has 1 hour left. Doctor begins panicking about what to do, babbling about what he knows about the situation. He has to turn a very mean man into a nice man on Christmas Eve. Amy asks him what the singing is in the background, but cannot hear him. Doctor repeatedly tells her that the noise is a Christmas carol, and then suddenly gets an idea. The doctor suddenly smiles and looks up at Kazran's mansion and wishes Kazran a Merry Christmas. Kazran is asleep in his library, dreaming of Christmas Eve when he was only 12 years old and tried to film his encounter with a skyfish. Kazran wakes to find this video being projected onto a wall in his library. In the video, Kazran's father storms into the room and strikes his son, furious that he has disobeyed him by researching the fish. Doctor appears behind the adult Kazran, whose entire staff has left after winning the lottery, despite there not actually being one, and wonders if he ever saw the fish. Catherine reveals that this was the day where he first began to realize that there was no one who would ever help him, and that he was on his own in the world. When asked who he is, the doctor retorts that for this night he is the ghost of Christmas past. The doctor reveals that he can change the past and takes off as Catherine derisively declares this to be impossible. The sound of the TARDIS is heard. In the video, young Catherine looks around just as the doctor steps into his room via the window. He gleefully jumps around, revealing that he is Catherine's new babysitter, the old one having also won the non-existent lottery. The doctor addresses the camera, telling the future Catherine his past will now start changing. The new memories will scare him at first, but he'll get the hang of it. The adult Catherine protests that this didn't happen, but suddenly remembers that it did. In the past, Catherine wonders who the doctor is. Doctor takes out his psychic paper to show him that he is universally recognized as a mature and responsible adult. However, it only appears as a bunch of wavy lines to the boy. Doctor scoffs, putting the paper away. Finally, a lie too big. Knowing how much Catherine wants to see a fish, the doctor decides to help the young man make his dream come true. Catherine and the doctor hide in Catherine's wardrobe, luring the skyfish in through the open window with a sonic screwdriver on a string tied to the doctor's finger. Catherine confesses to the doctor that he is the only student in his class who has never seen a fish. He was sick at home when the cloud belt broke open and released a school worth. Now every kid has a story except him. A moment later, the string starts moving. Doctor opens the wardrobe door to see a small fish curiously playing with the sonic. Doctor steps out, with the adult Catherine, remembering the event, warning him not to, and deduces how the fish survive in the fog. Suddenly, a large sky shark swoops in and gobbles up the smaller fish and half of the sonic screwdriver. A scared doctor backs up to the wardrobe, shutting himself inside. He tells Catherine that on the plus side, he now has a story. The shark tries getting in and rams its head into the door. Seeing its mouth stuck open and the stomach glowing inside, the doctor decides to give his two tries at getting it back. After a struggle, the doctor manages to stun the shark, which cannot survive outside the fog bells. The doctor tries to console a young Catherine, confessing there is nothing he can do for the shark without his sonic screwdriver, half of which is still inside the fish. Though he has means of returning it to the sky, it would never survive the trip without some form of life support. To his surprise, Catherine offers an icebox. Catherine leads the doctor to a large storeroom in the basement, which is filled with rows of ice boxes, of all which hold frozen people. Stopping in front of one icebox, Catherine plays its video message. Its occupant is a young woman called Abigail Pettigrew, who expresses her gratitude towards Elliot Sardick and her love of the fish. Catherine explains that the people in the boxes are family members of those who have borrowed money from his father, but he insists that they can borrow Abigail's box for the night, unlocking it. Before she fully awakes, the two realize that the shark has followed them to the vault, temporarily revived by swimming in the fog that is settled on the floor. Following a short chase, the shark is put to sleep by Abigail singing. The doctor explains that her voice resonates with and aligns the fog crystals in the same way that Sardac's machine does. In the present day, Catherine turns to a picture on the wall, realizing that it is of Abigail, and he then remembers it's bigger on the inside. In the past, Catherine and Abigail marvel at the TARDIS. The doctor dismisses it. With the shark in Abigail's box, Doctor pilots a TARDIS into the cloud belt. Dismissing his time machine as impressive, the Time Lords tell the children that he keeps the true wonders outside of the doors. He opens them, revealing the sky full of fish. They release a shark, which swims after a new meal. Doctor notices a dial set at 8 on Abigail's icebox. When he asks her if it relates to her, she responds by asking if he is one of her doctors. However, he is distracted by something else before she can explain. The doctor and Catherine return Abigail and a box to the vault, with Catherine promising that they will return and wake her every Christmas Eve from now on. The doctor starts to complain as Abigail watches as the door shut. However, she is next awoken by Catherine and the doctor wearing Santa hats. Using the sonic, he calls the shark down to pull a sleigh for them. A third Christmas comes with the doctor offering to take the duo wherever in time they wish for Christmas. In the present, Catherine sees a tin worth of pictures, showing new memories of his Christmases together with Abigail and the doctor. He's been to New York, the pyramids, etc. He is happy and confused by this. In the past, each Christmas has the dial on Abigail's icebox countdown. On the sixth Christmas Eve, Abigail finds Catherine much older than before and appears attracted to him. This Christmas, she requests they visit her family. She and Catherine watch her sister, brother in law, and nephew prepare for the festivities through the window from outside. Abigail cries. When Catherine wonders why, she explains that it is because she is watching the life she will never be able to have. To their shock, the doctor has gotten the family to invite them in. Abigail tells her sister of her Christmases but declines to stay the day for dinner. As a result, they have it then. The doctor attempts a card trick, which he fails at repeatedly. Abigail's sister warns her that Catherine will turn out just like his father. However, Abigail knows there's kindness in his heart that Elliot lacks. At the end of the night, Abigail kisses a nervous Catherine. The following Christmas finds the trio at 20th century Hollywood party. Catherine finds a crying Abigail by the pool. When he expresses concern for her, she explains that it is time for her to tell him the truth. A few minutes later, the doctor finds the couple kissing passionately, but impatiently requests to leave. as he has accidentally become engaged to Marilyn Monroe. He leaves her with her nevertheless. Abigail sadly tells Kazan that there is nothing that can be done. When the doctor and Catherine return Abigail to her icebox, the couple bids each other a silent and emotional goodbye. When the doctor tells Catherine that he'll come back next year, Catherine explains that he has outgrown Christmas and would like to end their yearly ritual. With the doctor reflecting that Catherine has not changed nearly as much as he would have liked, he offers Catherine his half of the sonic screwdriver in case Catherine ever needs him. Catherine assures him that he won't. Meanwhile, Abigail's dial has turned to 1. A few Christmas Eves later, Edith Sadek is celebrating with his son. His machine is complete and the planet is theirs. Elliot finally figured out part of the truth. Confused on what he should do from now on, Catherine runs to his room and takes the screwdriver out of his desk, considering using it to call the doctor. He turns to see the doctor standing just outside his window. Catherine goes to the window and looks on as the doctor gives him a smile, hoping he can be of help. Angrily, Catherine shuts the curtains on him and returns the screwdriver to his desk drawer. In the In the present day, Catherine goes to his old and disgusted room and takes a screwdriver out of the drawer and holds it, contemplating what to do. He receives another call from the president of the planet, who demands the cloud belt to be opened and allow the Starliner to land safely. However, Catherine simply refuses. He explains that a very old friend, the doctor, took many years to show him life isn't fair. Suddenly, a hologram of Amy appears in the library. She's the ghost of Christmas present. She brings him to the vault, where she has summoned dozens of holograms of the spaceship's passengers, who are singing for their lives. She explains that the doctor was only trying to turn Catherine into a kinder man, but Catherine insists that people can't be rewritten. He destroys the holograms and stops in front of Abigail's icebox, revealing to Amy that Abigail was mortally ill when she volunteered for the ice, and a dial showed how many days she had left to live. If he were to let her out now, he would only have 1 day with her. Determined, Amy projects a hologram of Catherine onto the ship's deck, where he is able to witness the chaos as the ship plunges toward the planet. The captain angrily tells Catherine that the doctor has the ship's passengers singing with the hope that they might stabilize the ship, as Abigail was able to calm the shark. But it's not working. Now they're done doing it because it gives them hope. When he's appealed to again to save the ship, Catherine angrily declares that everyone must die. Amy reveals that the doctor has been listening, and he returns Catherine's consciousness to his body in the vault, apologizing. The doctor says that he will now show Catherine the future, and Catherine welcomes this, knowing that he will die alone and afraid like everyone else. He repeats that he doesn't care about the people on the ship and goads the doctor into showing him the future, only to be surprised when the doctor explains that he already is. He points to 12-year-old Catherine standing in front of the TARDIS. Doctor makes Catherine the ghost of Christmas future. The doctor asks the boy if he wants to turn into a heartless monster like his father. The boy mistakes his older self for his abusive father, infuriating Catherine, who goes to strike him. However, Catherine is bombarded by his new memories of the love he and Abigail shared. Seeing his younger self cowering, Catherine realizes he has to break free of his father's influence and become his own person. He hugs his trembling younger self, telling him it will be okay. Seeing he's changed Catherine into a better person, the doctor asks him if he's ready to save the ship. With only a few minutes left, the doctor and Catherine go to the cloud belt controls, only to find that Catherine has changed too much, and the machine no longer recognizes him as Elliot, who would never let a kind person use the machine. The elder Catherine gives the doctor his half of the sonic screwdriver. The doctor realizes that he can transmit a signal from one half to the other, which is still contained in a shark floating in a cloud belt. But he needs it to transmit something else. Something they will know will work. Apologizing to Catherine, he explains that they will need to release Abigail. Her voice resonates perfectly with the fog crystals and how that will calm the sky. Catherine is reluctant to let her out, but when he does, she insists that she would have chosen Christmas Day with him for the final day. She begins to sing her song, which unlocks the cloud belt and causes a snowfall for the first time in years. Townsfolk gather, watching in amazement at the sight of snow. Catherine watches Abigail sing, mesmerized by his beloved's beauty. She gently caresses his face, and the ship's crew realizes that they were able to land the ship safely, and Rory and Amy embrace. The doctor departs with young Catherine, who now how his future will play out. Regardless of his heartless father actions, old Catherine and Abigail wave goodbye. They then notice a sleigh lies behind where the terrace was. Amy and Rory meet up with the doctor on the ground, where she notices he has built numerous snowmen along the street. The doctor wonders why they are dressed in their costumes. Rory explains that they lost their luggage despite having a safe landing. However, the doctor wonders why they are dressed like that at all. Amy hushes the doctor and tries warming herself up. Rory asks if the doctor has many more ideas for honeymoon locations. The doctor begins babbling on about a carnivorous moon made of honey, has some lovely views. Rory is less than excited to hear about this idea and walks into the TARDIS. Then he asks the doctor if it is okay to leave things the way they are. Abigail and Catherine only have one day left together. However, the doctor tells her that if nothing ever ended, nothing ever ended, nothing would ever get started. Rory pops out of the TARDIS, saying he answered the phone. Marilyn has called the doctor. The doctor tells Rory to inform Marilyn that he will call her back, and that there was never a real chapel. Amy wonders where Catherine and Abigail have gone, but the doctor only answers Christmas. Amy enters the TARDIS and the doctor follows shortly after looking up into the sky. The scene pans over the scene pans above to the snowing night sky, as Catherine and Abigail fly by on their shark-drawn sleigh. And that, my friends and companions, is the end of this story, A Christmas Carol. I will name some cast members. The Doctor is played by Matt Smith. Amy Pond is played by Karen Gillan. Rory is played by Arthur Darvill. Um, Catherine Edith Sardik is played by Michael Gambon. Abigail is played by Catherine Jenkins. Young Catherine is played by Lawrence Belcher. The adult Catherine is played by Danny Horn. The pilot is played by Leo Bill. The captain is played by Pookie Quesnell. The co-pilot is played by Mika Balfour. Old Benjamin is played by Steve North. Boy and Benjamin is played by Bailey Pepper. The servant is played by Tim Plester. Eric is played by Nick Malinowski. Isabella is played by Laura Rogers. And old Isabella is played by McWin Owen. Some world building. By the doctor admits he thinks bow ties are cool because he wears them and doesn't care. Some world building in culture, 5 points. Abigail's song mentions silence several times. Second thing is the song Abigail sings to calm the shark is in the bleak midwinter. A Christmas Carol based on a poem by English poet Christina Rossetti. A third thing is that the doctor wonders if Catherine has seen Mary Poppins. A fourth thing is that the doctor hears the song Ding Dong Merrily on High playing. And fifth thing in culture is that the passengers of the ship are singing Silent Night. Famous song. Famous Christmas song. Some role-playing individuals, Mrs. Malafontovani was Catherine's nanny. Something in locations. The Dr. Catherine and Abigail appear to have visited, according to Catherine's photo, the pyramids and the Sphinx in Egypt, the Sydney Opera House and Uluru in Australia, the Eiffel Tower in France, and the Statue of Liberty, the Empire State Building in California in 1952, specifically Hollywood in the United States of America. And the second thing, location is that Edith Sardak has a cryo cave below his house. Some world building with species. The doctor mentions face spiders. And the last thing in world building, and that's with the influences, four things. The episode is loosely based on the Charles Dickens novel of the same name, with Catherine Sardak being Ebenezer Scrooge, Doctor being the ghost of Christmas past, Amy being the ghost of Christmas present, and Catherine himself being the ghost of Christmas yet to come. Stephen Moffat stated that Christmas Carol was probably his favorite Christmas story, and it lent itself to Doctor Who as there was an aspect similar to time travel in the story. Second thing is that the flying shark was inspired by Stephen Moffat's childhood fear of sharks rising out of water, which was compounded by Jaws, as a few films in the 70s. Third thing is that the bridge of the Tras Magus was designed to evoke the Starship Enterprise. And fourth thing in influences is that Catherine's house was inspired by Xanadu from Citizen Kane. Okay. Some story notes. Uh, um, that Matt Smith named this as his favorite Christmas special. Um, and there's also a thing about the song what Abigail sings. Silence is All You Know was the first song Murray got composed for a Christmas special since My Angel Put the Devil in Me and the thing called The Stowaway for Voice of the Damned. Stephen Moffat noted that Catherine was unlike other villains found in the series, as he was not completely wicked. Instead, he was more of a damaged character. Doctor recognizes this when Catherine demonstrates his inability to hit a little boy, due to it reminding him of when his father beat him. This allowed the Doctor to want to change his past and defrost his soul. The phrase halfway out of the dark is used in the episode a reference to the fact that the hard winter is almost over, as well as the metaphor for Catherine. Yes, there are actually some psychological things in this episode. That's why it's a Christmas story that has many sides. Uh, and with a storyline that builds up, and we see also some development and what time travel can cost to a person. Yes. Um, okay. Um, Catherine Jenkins, that's the actress who plays Abigail did a demo of Silence is All You Know and then sang the song while filming the actual scene, as she felt it would look more natural. Afterwards, she sang the final version, and the new lighter arrangement was composed by the National Orchestra of Wales. It's actually good singing. Uh, Stephen Moffat wanted to make the special really Christmassy because the previous Christmas special, The End of Time, had been darker than usual as it led to the Ten Doctors regeneration. He stated that he had never been so excited about writing anything. He was saying, I was laughing madly as I typed along the Christmas songs in April. Last thing is that Amy filling the role of the ghost of Christmas present was a play on the double meaning of the word present, and that it is a gift, and hence Amy being a Christmas gift. So there are some story notes. Um, some continuity, because I repeat it again and again in every live stream. To some extent, stories and episodes in the universe are related to each other, linked to each other, and referencing to each other and are an influence to each other. So, interpretation. There are some things in continuity. Following things. Amy says, "Don't be late, Doctor. Just this once." There's a reference also to 11th Hour, the first on-screen 11th Doctor story. Second thing is that the Doctor sends a message to Amy saying, "Come along, Pond." He's saying that in Victor of the Daleks, Big Bang. Um, a third thing is that Doctor attempts and fails to perform card tricks. We see that, for example, in the TV story Robot, that's for the fourth Doctor Tom Baker, and in Rose, that's a ninth Doctor story Christopher Eccleston. A fourth thing is that the Doctor produces a photograph of himself and Father Christmas with Albert Einstein at Frank Sinatra's hunting lodge. It was previously suggested that the Doctor and Einstein were friends. You see that in TV story Time and the Rani. Uh, um, with the seventh Doctor, Sylvester McCoy and companion Mel. Um, it is later proven when the Doctor and Einstein are together on the TARDIS. That is the only answer. That is actually a Doctor Who contest winner with 11 Doctor and Einstein. There's a mini episode. Um, in the honeymoon suite, um, Amy wears her policeman kiss-gram garb. Also see that in TV story The 11th Hour. And Rory wears a Roman centurion's outfit, just like the one worn by his outlaw self, and previously by his real self, as seen in the photograph in Amy's house. Or this was the Christmas event that the photograph was of. See it in TV story The Pandora Opens. Another thing is that once again, the Doctor replaces somebody who unexpectedly wins the lottery, despite the fact that that person would not normally play it. You see that also in TV story School Reunion with the 10th Doctor and Rose, also featuring Sarah Jane and Mickey, K9 Mark III, and K9 Mark IV. um, Another thing is that the Doctor once again wears a vest, also seen at the Big Bang, but this time he actually going to Egypt. Another thing is that during one of his visits to Abigail, the Doctor and Catherine wear long scarves similar to the one worn by the Doctor's fourth incarnation. You see that in TV story with Robot et al. And during this Christmas, Abigail's timer shows 0004. Another thing is that the Doctor has previously observed and attempted to use devices with isomorphic controls to no avail. Another example being the Master's laser screwdriver. We've seen it in the TV story The Last of the Time Lords. Um, with then Dr. Martha Jones and Jack Harkness. The Doctor has also previously stated, apparently falsely, that the TARDIS has isomorphical controls. You see that in Pyramids of Mars. And that is a fourth Doctor story. Tom Baker and the companion Sarah. En met de main enemy Sutek. Another thing is that Abigail says she cannot enter her home before seconds later seeing the Doctor within, closely resembling the Doctor telling Amy not to interfere before she sees him on the TARDIS monitor doing so. We see that in the TV story Beast Below. All other things that the Doctor claims that Christmas is cancelled. See that in the TV story The End of Time with the 10th Doctor, David Tennant. Um, yeah, and in his the companion in this story is Wilfred Matt, and also with featuring Signa, Donna Noble, Sylvia, Sean, Trinity, Mickey Smith, Martha Jones, Sarah Jane Smith, Luke from the same Sarah Jane, Jack Harkness, Alonso, and there is Rose Tyler, Jackie Tyler, and the 11th Doctor. So End of Time is a Christmas special and New Year special, both. Another thing is that the Doctor once says Geronimo. We see that in the TV story The End of Time, Beast Below, and The Big Bang. Another thing that the Doctor gets himself into a problematic marital situation with Marilyn Monroe. Previously had a failed marriage with Queen Elizabeth I. We see that in the Shakespeare Code. Um, yeah, with 10th Doctor and Martha Jones. And he also in the End of Time, and he has stated that he is rubbish at weddings, especially my own. Also, TV story, a link to TV story Blink with the 10th Doctor. Another thing is that the Doctor, when speaking to Kesran, said, 900 years of time and space, I've never met anyone who wasn't important. He said something along the same lines to Craig Owens when Craig was sick. You see it in the TV story The Lodger. This is also similar to his lines while talking to another bride and groom. See that, for example, in Father's Day with the Ninth Doctor Christopher Eccleston. Later, while examines stone dust in TV story The Day of the Doctor. That was with the that was the 50th anniversary special with 11 Doctor and the other doctors, so War Doctor and 10 Doctor, and Clara, the companion. One other thing is that the Doctor previously mentioned having seen fish that fly. That's the TV story Marco Polo with the first Doctor William Hartnell and the companions Ian Chesterton and Barbara Wright and the granddaughter of the Doctor Susan Foreman. Another thing is that the Doctor gives Sardik a choice: help those people on the Starliner or face the consequences. When he refuses, the Doctor says, quote, whatever happens here tonight, remember you brought this on yourself, end quote. The 10th Doctor told the Empress of the Ragnos much the same thing when he offered her a choice to either leave or face the consequences. We see it in the Runaway Bride with the first time seeing Donna Noble in her wedding dress. Another thing is that the psychic paper has failed before. We see it in Army of Ghosts, the Shakespeare Code, the Vampires of Venice. Another thing that this episode marks the fifth time Dr. Suna's screwdriver has been destroyed. For example, we see that in the TV story The Visitation with the fifth Doctor Peter Davison. We see it as Smith and Jones. That is what 10 Doctor, 11th Hour, and in the comic, The Flood. The device would later suffer heavy damage for a sixth time. We see it in TV story Oxygen with the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi. Another thing is that Byzantium was also identified as a galaxy class ship. We see that in TV story The Time of Angels with the 11th Doctor, Amy and River. Next thing is that at the party where he ended up engaged to Mary Mallow, he met up with John F. Kennedy. You see that in prose Shroud of Sorrow. Next, the 11th Doctor claimed to accidentally become engaged to Mary Mallow. The first Doctor, William Hartnell, also accidentally became engaged to Chemica. If he did in TV story The Aztecs, was in the first season of the classic. Another thing is that during his travels with the Doctor as a young man, Casper met Winston Churchill, and two of them became stranded in Britain in 55 BC during Julius Caesar invasion. We see that we can hear that in the audio story Living History. And the last thing, continuity, is that during his seventh incarnation, the Doctor previously sang another duet with Sinatra, though much less successfully on that occasion. Melanie Bush noted that the two of them and Ace were lucky to escape with their lives since Sinatra was less accommodating than the Doctor had hoped. And we can hear that in the audio story Maker of Demons. And that, my friends and companions, is all I have to say about this story, this Christmas special. So, some commercial. All sort of fans meet on this channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music and sport, and a special place on this channel for Doctor Who. Ooh. This channel has multiple names, but is constantly regenerating. And most of the time, is it called Random Entertainment Channel. It's random because we discuss anything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books and music, humor and jokes. Random because we'll broadcast on non-fixed times, extremely many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random also because we have no guests or different guests. It depends on what you join me in live stream or panel. If you want to join me in live stream, feel free to contact me via Discord or YouTube. Then we'll look what is possible. And what is also possible is to invite me for your live stream and for a panel on your channel. So I'm available. Feel free to invite me. Therefore, Discord server is called Random Entertainment Channel Tech Doctor Who. On this board, you can find me very quick because I bump the server regularly. So cheers, mate, and have lots of fun. Your host, Enigmatic Joker. That's me. And for now, have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. I'm looking forward to meet ya. So, everyone, bye bye for now. Bye bye.